Make sure we both our faces up here. What's up, guys? We are live with Casual Bachelor here. We're gonna wait a few moments. I'm getting our camera all set up here. So let me see. Let's try this one. Nope, that didn't work. Let's try. Nope, that didn't work. I want to get us both in here. Guys, can you hear us, by the way? Can you hear both of us? Can you say some things here, Casual Bachelor, just so we can get the... What's up, Josu?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing. Can you guys hear Casual Bachelor here? What up, Carl? What's up, Oki MGTOW? Let's see if I get rid of that. Nope, that didn't work. We got to get this rolling. You can hear me. You can't hear him. All right, let me take off. I'm going to take off my headphones here and see if you guys can hear. Hey, how about now, guys? Oh, you guys can hear both?
Can you hear anything? Can I?
Wait, hold on.
Oh no, someone says good sound on both.
All right, I'm gonna put my headset back in here. Those of you guys watch on the replay, we'll get this ready in 3 minutes here. That's why we have the countdown timer. Okay, let's see here. I did this already before. Hey, what's up, Shrug Lord? No, we don't want that. We want the Skype camera here. Good. RP says good. I mean, we
both, huh?
Yeah, I don't know that they can see you, or they either see you or me right now, and I'm gonna figure out how to get this working. But still, with the countdown timer, we are going to get started at that time. And if I have to just click back and forth between you and me, I will. But I will get this figured out. I will get this figured out because I have you up here. Oh, you know what? Maybe I need to do it in my Skype behind the scenes here. No, that didn't do it. Don't want to sign out. Get me off of that. Didn't mean to do that either.
Snapshot.
Now this thing's up in my face. All right. Okay. So, guys, we're going to get started here. I'm going to start asking we got Casual Bachelor here on. And if you guys don't know who that is, I left a link below this video to his channel. He is blowing up recently. And he is from, is that right? You're from New Zealand?
Yeah, New Zealand.
New Zealand. So, the first thing to kind of start with, just for guys here, can you give anyone that hasn't been to your channel, give them like a brief rundown? What could they expect when they come to your channel? Kind of what's your mission there?
I don't know, like some of my videos have already been shot from a while back, and it was sort of just for like a younger version of myself, or maybe an older person that, you know, might have missed a few things along the way. And then maybe just a little bit of attempted comedy or humor.
I like it. Yeah, I don't know. Your feed just started popping up on my YouTube. I think that kind of happens to up and comers. And I remember watching a video, and I was kind of like, all right, let's see what this guy's got. And your logic was spot on. And I was like, okay, let's watch another one. And I ended up watching like 5 in a row. And I was just like, all right, I got to get this guy on here. He knows what he's talking about. So as far as, you know, our kind of topic here is MGTOW Philosophy. What does that mean? So especially to, let's just pretend like a guy's watching this. He's never heard of MGTOW before. We know the mainstream narrative's going to give MGTOW a bad name. What would you call what would be your simplified version of what MGTOW is for somebody that has never heard it before?
I guess if I was just to simplify it, just as far as the rules, I guess just no cohabitation, and a secondary being having control over your finances, having control over your wallet. But I actually liked one of your videos, how you just described it as aggressively single. I like that way of putting it, because it doesn't come across so in your face. But yeah, that's just like a simplified version, I guess.
Yeah, and that's and that's actually another thing that I enjoyed about your channel, was that you are delivering messages, but you don't seem jaded. You seem like a pretty relaxed guy. You're just talking about it logically. You're not getting all emotionally. You can tell that whether you've been through red pill rage or not, it's not lingering with you, which I think makes the message a lot easier for guys to hear.
Yeah.
And so is part of what I was curious about is what was kind of your personal journey to how you discovered MGTOW, and I guess when you kind of confirmed that you would consider yourself MGTOW or a bachelor. How did that start for you? Because I'm in the United States. There's a lot of factors about why, like I tell guys about MGTOW and the benefits of it. So what was that like for you in New Zealand? Kind of what was your journey towards this?
There's a couple of like random rabbit holes I can't really talk about, but as far as the MGTOW side of it, I guess I listened to a lot of Tom Likas. Like he was, I mean, no shots fired at Roller or anything, but to me, it's Tom Likas is the OG. Like some of the things he was talking about, the way he was debating callers, which, he was just sort of ahead of his time, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that part with Lycus, and he also has been through four marriages himself,
4 divorces.
Or 4 divorces. You were correct, yes.
And some of the callers used to use that against him, but then he would say, "Well, I know because I've done it." So he was able to, because I mean, sometimes that's what people say against MGTOW is, "Oh, well, how can you be against it if you haven't gone through all the marriages?" But that's why Tom was there to do some of the mistakes for us, I guess.
And along with that, have you because I myself, I've not been married. I learned about MGTOW and I just kind of followed the logic, and then I started to look into the court systems, and I started to look into everything that men were saying, and then I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, this is a bad deal. So have you been through the ringer yourself, or?
Nah, I'd already seen it a while ago. Like, I had a weird sort of upbringing in the sense of, in my sophomore year of high school, we were studying Matrix in English. So, I don't know, I got to just start to get little hints at quite a young age.
And you mean you guys were studying like the movie The Matrix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we'd watch it like 4 or 5 times, look at it from like a religious point of view, from a secular point of view. So I don't know, just weird things like that at an early age just piqued my interest, I guess.
And then where does MGTOW itself fit into that? Because even for myself, like when I started to realize I was being lied to about mainstream narrative, was probably the biggest was looking into 9/11 here in the United States.
Yeah.
But that still, I didn't connect the divorce court, family court. I didn't connect all that with regards to dating and women in that aspect. I just kind of knew we were lied to about stuff on mainstream. So, you mentioned you studied the actual Matrix and stuff like that, but where does this play in now as far as the actual decision to go bachelorhood or what did you start to see around you where you're kind of like, yeah, this doesn't seem like a good deal?
Well, I've had the ability to travel to different places as well. I've been to parts of Europe, parts of Asia, America, Australia. So you start to obviously notice trends all over the place, right? It's not just in your local neighborhood. So I don't know. And it seemed like things were just getting worse in all honesty. Like as far as the dating apps, like I feel like there was a period where they were sort of all right, but now they're I don't know, they're a bit of a joke.
And you're seeing that as well, because I, again, it's just kind of interesting for me because I can sit here and talk about American culture, American society. We have which I don't know if you're familiar with, the Cardi B WAP song, and just the
Yeah.
kind of crap that we're fed on. I don't know if you saw too, the whole toxic masculinity Gillette ad. I'm not sure if that
Yeah.
was announced there. What's the culture like over there? What's the society? Does it praise single mothers like it kind of does here? Does it praise,
A little bit.
do you think it's as bad as in America, I mean, maybe you haven't
No,
had enough.
it's not as polarizing as America has very I mean you have to be worried about, doxing, all that kind of carry on. I guess anyone has to be worried about that, but it seems specifically within America that seems to be a problem that people are willing to kind of stoop to new lows in order to stifle the conversation.
Yeah, I'm seeing some comments pop up. We have like a guy saying, still, Neo couldn't stay away from the camel toe, which is, which is true. Um, so is part of this whole, again, I'll just say on my own, when I first heard about MGTOW, and again, like I said, mainstream, you're going to hear probably the most polarized and probably the worst of what MGTOW philosophy really is or whatnot. When I first heard about MGTOW, the impression that I got until I kind of dug in was, if you're MGTOW, you're a guy that basically avoids as much contact with women as possible. You stay away, you limit your exposure. And then as I kind of dug in, I started to realize, no, there's kind of a framework, or what some people will call the MGTOW levels. How do
Yeah.
you see, just to give guys, especially guys that haven't heard about MGTOW before, what kind of spectrum do you see on what like opposite ends do you kind of notice men that,
Well,
you know,
it's the largest spectrum, right? You've got a group of nonconformists that range from pump and dump all the way to monk and everything in between. I guess, it goes from casual dating all the way to having a shed out in the woods, and you've got your food and all that. I mean, or there's just like somewhere in the middle where you're just a bachelor in the city basically, and you've decided to not get entangled with some of the legal system.
and so again, I guess as a general principle for, we can go back to the simplified version, and I really do think it's important for guys to understand this when they hear about it, is that, MGTOW is basically, right, being aggressively single. You're
Yeah,
single for a reason, and it's the legal system, it's culture, it's society, it's your
yeah,
own experiences. You're single for a reason because of the system put in place. Is that accurate?
yeah. I mean, not to say that you might not meet someone and you're receptive to that, but in general, you know, it's a combination of culture and the laws that are in place, and yeah, it's just like a little cocktail at the moment.
Yeah, and what of part of, was it, is it Tom Likas? Yeah. Okay. So, and maybe you get this too. I'm not sure. I mean, you're definitely starting to blow up, so I'm sure you're going to be getting some of the haters as well as it as it comes. One of the things that um, you know, yeah, one of the things that you hear all the time is that men are MGTOW men are they hate women. What would be your retort to that? What would be your response to that?
If I'm being honest, I think they overuse the term misogynist and they underuse the term at times, not to say all of them, but there is probably like a little bit of chauvinism. Like I'd actually say there's potentially more chauvinism than there is misogyny, but and there's a lot of just indifference as well, I guess. But I don't know. Like I said, it's such a wide spectrum. You are going to have people that are, red pill raging or have had bad life experiences, so they've actually got like a legit reason to maybe feel that way. But I don't know. That's just how they're going to always paint it, right? They've been using misogyny and closet homosexual for like 200 years now.
Yeah. What kind of inspired you to start your own channel? Was there a guy like you? I know you mentioned Tom Likas. Did you watch for years and years and then you just started to see other channels and you were kind of like, okay, this guy does it pretty well, but I think I can explain this better? Or was there information you came across on your own? You would see certain videos and you were just like, man, I got to roast this person, or I got to spit some logic here. Like, how did it go from like you deciding I'm going to create an account, I'm going to start my own channel? Because this is really cool for a lot of guys to see. You blew up in quite, a short time. So what inspired you to actually start your channel?
I don't know. Like I'd normally just be playing video games, in all honesty. I'd just be playing video games and watching stuff. And I remember one time I had a game get delayed about a week, and then I just decided to make a video one time, and then yeah, it was something as weird as a video game getting delayed, and then I was like, okay, I guess I'll make a MGTOW video. It was just something random like that, in all honesty.
And you're just soaking it in, and all of a sudden you're just like, all right, well, let's just make a video and just kind of see what happens. And then, how long was it from your first? If you remember, was it a while? Did you post the first video? I know Coach Greg Adams started a channel. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he started a channel a long time ago, and then he stopped for a long time, and then he just started back at it. Was that your journey, or did you just kind of start and you just kept going?
It's been all chopped up all over the place, I guess. But like as far as making some of the videos and some videos having to be on BitChute and things, but yeah, I don't know. Like basically this last week has been kind of crazy, in all honesty. Like I can't even really explain it.
I just put up a little follow at CasualBachelor channel, little note there. Again, I don't know why this is all weird with the split screen and whatnot, but now everyone will see that. Guys, just a shout out to you, those of you that came in earlier. This is CasualBachelor. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on, are you on BitChute as well? Did I see you are NZ MGTOW, or are you CasualBachelor on there as well?
Yeah, it's like I tried to change something, but then it kind of messed up, so I just left it alone. But it's got like CasualBachelor, but it's got the NZ tag as well, the New Zealand one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What's something that, now that I like to speak to other creators on this perspective, is like, what makes you salivate when you're about to create some? Like I said, I've enjoyed your videos. What makes you see something and like what is where you're just like, oh, this is gonna be a fun one to do? What is the favorite type of content for you to create?
I don't know. It probably is trying to break something down, I guess. I mean, that seems to be what people like watching. I can't believe it's that one with that Aussie dating coach. It's got like 2,500 comments on it, and that's with YouTube maybe deleting another 25% of those comments. So yeah, I don't know. Probably just like breaking down a video maybe. And I don't know. I guess I just see something and I'm like, ooh, I wouldn't mind maybe doing something on that. But yeah.
Is it normally when you see a woman speak about something, we were kind of like, okay, yeah, this is a good one? Or is it when you see like a guy, a white knight?
Yeah, like it depends. It seems like I don't mind just, dishing it out to anything in all honesty, but um I don't know, as far as the sort of MGTOW analysis, it's normally breaking down chicks doing it, but because there's not that many white knights really wanting to do an actual video about the topic. They'll just post some like 1 minute clip or something.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. As we get some, I'm looking at the chat as well, and guys, I will be looking here if you guys have some questions to ask Casual Bachelor. It is definitely a different time zone, so I don't want to keep them on too long, but because what is it? Is it 19 hours difference? Is that right? We knew from New Zealand to where I'm at here, something like that.
It's 12:20 lunchtime, 12:20.
Oh, okay, and it's 5:20 my time. Interesting. Okay, so it's like, yeah, I guess it's just a whichever way you
It's
look at it.
Thursday here though. It's Thursday.
What is it here? Is it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday, guys?
Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday,
I'm
guys. All right.
speaking to you
Okay.
from the future. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah, this
speaking
is
from the future.
this is the future. The future. Yeah, I mean, future warning us not to get married. That's probably a good idea. So I do have a MGTOW or a super chat here from Oki MGTOW. He says, "Great collab. Casual is blowing up. Shout out." That's from Oki MGTOW. Appreciate you, Oki MGTOW. We have a guy here says RP says Casual Bachelor, you're good, not too long stuff, just straight to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you
That
keep
was part of it too, because I'm thinking of a younger version of myself that's not got a long attention span, so I need to just bang it out. I can't muck around to start a video off. Sometimes I'll just, go straight into the analysis, and I won't do any kind of intro or anything.
Yeah, that's I feel when I look at my if I have an intro that's like a minute or a minute and 20 seconds long, I'm like, God, this feels like an eternity right now. I need to just get right to it. Which do you have as far as I've seen, 5 or 6 videos. Do you have any like tagline? Because I feel like I've never had a tagline. There's other guys that will have they'll come in, they'll introduce themselves, which is probably smart. But I don't
Yeah.
find that I've ever done one. Do you have one?
Nah, not really. I guess as just a generic one, I used to just say welcome everybody, like just like a super generic start like that. But then I still felt like I needed to get straight into the video because I was thinking of like a younger version of myself saying, "Oh, hurry up, and get to the point," sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that one. Definitely feel you on that one. What would you say from if you could do your time machine? I know that you're talking to us from the future here, but if you could tell yourself a younger, and I don't know, you don't have to disclose your age or whatnot. I mean, I myself am 31, but is there any advice you could give your younger self that would have led to a little safer route or a smarter route growing up, or did you kind of learn at a young age? Like, how would you play it with your younger self? What advice would you give them?
Um, I don't know. Like I said, I've not been married and divorced and all that, so I felt like I've actually played the safer route at least up until this point. So I don't know, like just some of my videos, I guess, would be my my messages to my younger self, I guess, some of my shorter videos.
And would you say that it's more important to learn for the young guys? Do you think it's more important to learn about the female nature aspect? She's never yours, it's just your turn. Really, the exposing the female nature part, or do you think the legal system, the system set in place, if you had to put one above the other, what would you choose to educate men on?
Yeah, it would probably be the female nature, but I mean the other one is still important in today's time. But once you understand female nature a little bit, you don't, because I feel like people nowadays don't stay in the friend zone as long as they used to. Like I used to know people, they'd be in the friend zone for months, for years, and I feel like at least that's kind of somewhat a thing of the past. And I know some people probably still friend zone now, but it seems a little less as long. But I don't know if that's because chicks are sort of running through people quicker as well. So I don't know.
That's an interesting point too, because on one hand, it could be that women just have so much quicker access to their Rolo dicks with online dating apps or social media, so they're not even bothering keeping the simps, along for the ride as much anymore. Or if part of that is the red pill becoming a little bit more mainstream, so guys are finally figuring out, hey, wow, okay, she hasn't shown me any sign of affection or attention in 3 months. Now I'm out of here. I don't know. I guess what one would be more likely. Do you have any take on that?
I don't know. I think potentially just the pace in which these relationships are coming together and breaking apart might be speeding up the process. I mean, people used to have 6 months. I mean, like 6 months, 9 months, 1 year relationships. Now you're seeing a lot of 1 month, 2 month. So I don't know. Maybe people are kind of waking up a little quicker because these relationships are happening so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, plus there's just a lot of hookups as well, and then that's going to speed it up too, just pure hookups.
Yeah, and hookup culture, at least here in the States, is much more. It's definitely more mainstream and allowed now. Like again, the Cardi B WAP is a perfect example of that. That girls don't even have to hide it anymore. They're just.
But that's just the peak, though, right? That's just the peak. There's been a push of this over the last, long time, but there's like in the music industry, the last 10 years, the last 5 years, there's been a push towards this sort of over sexualization.
Yeah, it's sped up at a really fast pace. I remember growing up when my parents didn't allow me to watch The Simpsons. I remember that was like, hey, that was too inappropriate.
I like that show. I like that show growing up.
Yeah, well, I remember that was kind of like the one I'd have to sneak off to watch if I wanted to. But these days, I mean, you got like Netflix releasing Cuties, and you got these disgusting things sexualizing stuff at such a young age. It's just a different world. Definitely a different world.
I can't believe they're willing to put it out there, in all honesty. Like it just like it's totally testing the American public's sort of, I don't know, their morals, and it seemed that there was a good backlash from it. So yeah, I guess it wasn't as successful as they hoped it would be.
Yeah, I'm glad there was a big backlash on that too. But I don't know if you're familiar with California here in the States. That's kind of what people call California. It kind of leads the edge on all this stuff. And I believe there was a law just passed, or I believe it just passed, about allowing the sexual age to, you don't get a felony if it's within 10 years of your age. So theoretically, a 21-year-old could go 10 years younger to an 11-year-old. And it's just insane. Like, how does something like that even pass? I don't understand, but
money.
Yeah,
money
true.
Makes things pass, I guess. The lobbies.
And I know stuff going on. I've seen some of your stuff. You know what's going on about in the real world. So you know who's pulling the strings on a lot of this stuff. Okay, now, and maybe we will, edge on that a little bit as we get by. Like I said, I don't, my channel, I say whatever comes to my mind. YouTube doesn't like me, and that's just how it's going to be. I can't put my foot in my mouth. So we might get to some of that a little crazier stuff at the very end here, depending on how much time you have. But what, as of right now, well, actually, let's say this. What age do you think young men should be? And this is totally opinionated. I don't know that I would have a good answer myself, but what age do you think that young men should be red-pilled? What would be an age that they should at least start to understand part of the system they're living in? Or do you think learning a little too young can stunt their growth? Or how would you look at that?
Well, me saying as a bias, I would say at 16, but that's because I had a weird upbringing in the sense of studying the Matrix in high school. So, but yeah, like I wouldn't say any younger than that, any younger than say like a high schooler. But who knows? I mean, you have to think today is everyone's got a cell phone. Everyone's got a library in their hand, and they can use that for good, or they can watch cat videos all day. So there's two different things that they can be looking at.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell too at where they're at, how they're going to take it, how they're going to handle the red pill rage, whether they're going to accept it. But I guess on the other hand, and it doesn't happen, I guess, as often anymore. But on the other hand, if you'd get guys that were marrying at 16, 17, 18 years old, you might have a problem. They might need to be exposed to this, but we don't typically see that, at least here in the States, nearly as often. See people getting married. We see the women getting married at 30, 35, 40 as they're hitting the wall, and then you see the big marriage proposals coming.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so the system is messed up. I know this, you know this. Guys know the system is messed up. Casual Bachelor, I give you a magical wand to change one thing. You can change one thing with the system for society, not personally for yourself. You don't ever have to get married or whatnot, but what would you say the one thing, if you could change it, would help redirect the course we're going on? Because right now we know that, I mean, society's doomed if it continues at this rate.
Well, it sounds cliche, but I would get rid of the no-fault divorce, which gets rid of the family courts, and it brings back more private eye jobs, right? That's literally used to be a job once upon a time, is to be a private eye, and you had to prove infidelity. You know, you had to prove that they were, you know, in the wrong, and then that made a difference in the divorce proceedings.
Because as of right now, it's for guys that don't understand no fault divorce, you're able to you could wake up and you could be a woman, you could wake up and go, you know what, I just fell out of love with my husband. I'm going to the divorce court today.
Irreconcilable differences. Right?
Yep. We're done. He doesn't look at me the same way he used to. And all of her girlfriends will go, well, you deserve better. Oh, you deserve love. You deserve that Disney love we grew up with. So, and she can go to the court system and file a divorce, and we know that the court systems are going to be heavily favored and biased against men towards women. And no fault divorce allows this to happen any moment, any part of the day. Do you understand? I really don't. I'm on it, or I'll just be honest about this. With the no fault divorce, would that I'm trying to think. That would so then if a woman wanted to get divorced, do you have any understanding what would that mean if a woman wanted to get divorced and there was no actual thing that seemed like she should legally be allowed to? Do you know what would happen? Would it just default to 50-50 so she couldn't use him, or do you have any understanding with that?
Was this back in the pre no fault divorce?
Yes.
I think there had to be a reason. So if she caught him cheating, that allowed her to get the money. But this is why they changed it, in my opinion. If she was caught cheating, he had the ability to kick her out of the house, and he got the kids. So it actually created a potential homeless female under the old system if she was caught cheating.
Gotcha. And now that has gotten to the point. Yeah, I mean, now it's completely reversed now. Now she could theoretically be caught cheating, and yet the kids are probably going to go to her, or at least majority custody, or she's going to fight for whatever she can get.
She gets paid out for cheating now.
Man, that's tough, because I've seen some stuff, like, I mean, you can always see whatever you want to find on the internet, but I've seen stuff where, women talked about how she was unhappy with her husband. He was such a great guy to everyone else around me. So she set up him cheating. She set up someone to seduce him so that then she would have plausible deniability to label him a cheater, divorce him, take his stuff, and then she wouldn't be looked at as bad from her friends and family who knew he was a really good guy or loved the guy. So she planned, stop giving him sex, make him really want it, set him up with somebody that can seduce him, and now I have all the plausibility and deniability. I loved him. I thought he was such a good guy, but he was living this double life. And then she gets support from everyone in her life and the court system, and that guy is in for a reckoning. Man, yeah.
Well, it just reminds me of that saying from Lycus where it goes, if I come home every day and there's nothing in the fridge, are you going to be surprised when I go to McDonald's? So if your wife is withholding sex, I mean, eventually you're going to need to go to McDonald's or Burger King, right? Well, potentially, I guess, if you just can't handle it no more.
Absolutely. Yeah, good point. And again, when you put the ring on, guys, even when you live with a woman, you cohabitate.
Yeah.
The power goes into her hands. Even as far as the sex thing, she starts stripping it out, and then she builds on that power because that's how she's been able to get guys her entire life. And then this becomes her monopoly. She has sex, and now she can drip it out or keep it. And you're screwed. You're at her will at that point. We got a super chat here from Nico Greco I want to read here real quick. Nico Greco, thank you, man. Nico Greco says, wait for it, words with a clock is the A. Did it cut off again, Nico Greco? This happened last time. Words with a clock is the A. But I appreciate you, Nico Greco. All right. Yeah, we got some guys in here saying never marry or cohabitate. Yep, excellent advice. Here we go. So, guys, if you have any questions, I'm going to start looking in here. If you have any questions you want to ask Casual Bachelor here, what would you say? Do you have, I don't want to keep you too long. Do you have another 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, that should be all good. Okay,
cool. So I will look in the chat for some of these. But what I do want to, and this happens to me on my live streams. What I've started to do is I talk the first half, kind of the dating, relationship, women stuff. The second half, I talk about what's going on in the world, who's pulling the strings, conspiracy, you might call it, truth or stuff, you might call it. Some people told me that is, they go, wow, you're kind of talking about black pill stuff. And I really am not familiar much with the black pill. Do you know much about the black pill? What is your definition of the black pill if you do?
Well, just like any pill, I guess there's a positive side and you could say a negative side. Because if you go too far down one side of the black pill, you might get nihilistic and depressed. But there's still just some harsh facts in the black pill. So I try to just look at the information side of the black pill rather than get too far into, say, some of the incel stuff, some of the sort of physiognomy checks and surgeries and things like that. I don't really delve into that side of the black pill. If that is black pill, I don't even know if that's...
Okay, you and I are probably on the exact same train then on that part, because I don't know about that whole thing. I know that I thought that might be what the black pill was. It was only talking about looks and that stuff with women. But my understanding, I guess, was that it's more of just what's going on in the world type thing. So I don't know.
That's just me saying there's sort of two sides to the black pill, whether you just want to look at some of the crazier information or whether you're going to go into that sort of looks and surgeries and all that other stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we got some Nico Greco wanted to ask this. He says, is Casual Bachelor from New Zealand? If so, what are your thoughts on Kiwi girls?
They're not like what do you mean by that? As far as looks go, they're pretty average. They're not that great. But if as far as Netflix and chills goes, you'll be able to do that, I guess. But I don't know. I would say Australia has better girls. Like if you were having to flip a coin, it's you go to Australia if you want to meet some hot chicks.
Okay. And what about their mindset? Has the feminist ideology taken over? Is that the norm,
Do you
or?
not know what country was the first country to have the vote?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta enlighten me, man.
It's New Zealand. New Zealand was the first country to have the vote.
So then, do you think it's worse? The feminist ideology? Would you say that's worse there? I
Well,
mean,
we don't have that extreme strand that you seem to have in America, if that makes any sense. We don't have this like we. It's still a very liberal country, but there's still a laid back attitude to New Zealand. Whereas I don't know, like obviously it depends on the city, right? You go to say Washington, New York, some of these places, you're going to have a very radical strand of feminism within that part of the country, like that part of America.
okay, yeah, yeah. I live in Washington State, so I'm in one of those liberal hives, and
Yeah.
yeah. So you might see, then you might on the extreme version, you'll see more of the blue-haired feminists. You'll see the girls that don't shave their armpits and they're proud of it, and they think that that makes them an equal or whatnot, and that stuff. So I hear the loudest screeching, I would say, in the United States. Yours might be more of just, maybe it's more of like the Midwest here or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, like it's hard because I don't really go to say some of the nightclubs or any of that kind of scene, so I don't know too much, but it just seems like more of a laid back attitude in comparison to some of those hot spots in America.
Yeah, so you don't see like the pink pussy hats out there marching everywhere or any of that
Nah,
stuff.
but I'm not in the main city either though. So I'm not in Auckland where you've got, almost half of New Zealand's total population. So maybe there might have been some march up there, but I don't know. Maybe it doesn't get the same kind of coverage that it might do in America, right? They just get all the CNN, MSNBC, they just get all the cameras down there and make it a big fiasco.
Yep, yep, definitely. All right, so yeah, I mean we. It's not often I get people that, even especially, I live in Washington State, right? A bunch of, I don't find red pill men about women here, let alone I don't find many sane people when you talk about what's going on in the world or politics wise here. So I like that. I know you know who's been pulling the strings. Let me just ask you something here.
Yeah.
Pizzagate. Pizzagate. Is Pizzagate real?
Um, I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Well, okay. In your
Let's just put it
opinion?
this way. Let's just put it this way. They don't want people looking into it. I'll just say that. They don't want people looking into it. Whether it's true or not, who knows, right? But they certainly don't want people to have a look.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, when in the midst of the whole Pizzagate stuff, I was digging in big time, and I used to find stuff all the time, and then it got wiped away. It's so hard to find information, but when I was first digging
Fancy that,
in,
huh? Fancy
exactly,
that.
exactly. So when I was first digging in, it was there to be found, and then it got what. So what about um
You're gonna get us in trouble here.
yeah, dude, I always get myself in trouble. I don't want to get you in trouble though. I don't want to get you in trouble. Um, but well, and yeah, I mean, it's just a different thing too. Especially, Here's Russian bot asked this. Okay, good. This is actually a question I want to have. Did you read the emails, the WikiLeaks emails? Anything with that? Are you familiar with that? The whole WikiLeaks emails?
I didn't read all the emails.
Yeah, there was a ton of them. I mean, the 33,000 that just randomly got bleached, or bleached away, but
I'll
enough
say this though.
yeah,
I felt like some of the Instagram posts were pretty crazy.
yep, I agree. Ray Chandler, some of the other stuff we saw, the Comet Ping Pong, all that stuff. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, see, so we get weird on this channel towards the end too. And again, I'm not trying to drag you in on that because I know that I'm in my own black hole myself with that, but I like to at least have other people be exposed to, someone that's looking into this stuff. We do got six. We got the amount on hot dogs. Barack Obama spending 65,000 on hot dogs or whatnot. Bathhouse Barry, guys, Bathhouse Barry and Big Mike, her boyfriend. Again, hey, YouTube, that's coming from me. This is not coming from Casual Bachelor. He's an angel.
That's the comment section, isn't it? There's someone in the comments.
I'm just reading off the comments. That's all, YouTube. We are angels here. We don't talk about anything against the mainstream.
This is the Christian channel, right? It's the Christian channel.
That's right. Well, no, they would demonetize that too. You're not allowed to talk about anything holy or.
It's the atheist channel. Sorry, it's the atheist
there you
channel.
go. An atheist channel. We don't believe in anything here. Now, hey, all of a sudden, I'm going to be trending on YouTube tomorrow. Number one. Okay, so we got a couple more questions here. So I'll say, I do want to keep. So let's say we got 14 minutes till 6 p.m. on my time here. We have some things. Okay. Asked Casual Bachelor if he thinks the artificial womb will be a reality. Do you think the artificial womb will be a reality?
I think it'll get to a stage where you'll be able to finish off a birth, if that makes sense. Maybe do the final 4 months of a birth. But I don't know if it'll get to the stage yet where you get to just do one from scratch via the artificial womb. That's still potentially far away, and even the other version, who knows how soon that could be. But that's what I see happening first, is them being able to use it to help finish off births, like finish off maybe the last few months.
Okay, yeah, it's interesting because I actually have a close friend of mine who him and his wife did like the artificial insemination or whatnot, and they ended up getting around to like they had like 7, I don't know what you'd call like a test tube baby almost, but they had like 7 of the highest chance of survival, and then from there they were able to pick boy or girl, and they kind of basically were able to just kind of put it in one at a time, and they're on their like second child, I think, now. So technology is pretty wild. Who knows what's coming in the future. Okay, let's see. We got another one here from. I'm just seeing some of these comments. Male Patriarchy says, "Would Casual Bachelor ever consider leaving his country? Would you ever consider leaving your country? If you did, why and where would you go to?"
Probably Japan, maybe. I'd probably teach English over in Japan.
Interesting. Okay, so why is that? What drew you to that?
It would just be an interesting experience. I'd go to like a small town somewhere in Japan, teach kids English, and then play some video games or something. Just something simple like that. I don't need to go anywhere too crazy.
Nice. Yep. By the way, could you ever see yourself doing the? I don't know if this is just a certain breed of people, or if MGTOW men would be more likely probably in the scenario. But does it look appealing to you ever to do something like live in the bus and to drive around and just kind of travel and live really short, or a tiny house, or not your style?
It's an option. It's an option, but yeah, I'm not too sure. I probably wouldn't do that in New Zealand. If I was in America or Europe, I think that would be kind of cool, because you could actually drive to these, different cities, different states, different countries. Whereas New Zealand, you'd only be driving to the beach. You wouldn't be sort of doing these crazy road trips across Europe or across America.
That's a good point. It's a very good point. We did get a super chat here from Nico Greco, my man. He says, stock market up today. Buy shares. Use dividends to travel Southeast Asia. Have you ever been, Casual Bachelor, have you ever been to Southeast Asia? Or have you ever been to Asia? Yes.
I have.
What's your take on it? What's it like?
I haven't. I've been to the Philippines. So I've been to the Philippines before. It was pretty cool. It would, if someone wants to do a bit of a crazy trip, you could have some fun over in the Philippines.
Probably live quite a bit cheaper there as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we have Danny Arnold says because Japanese babes are very feminine and submissive and sizzling hot. The old Japanese ladies. Okay, yeah, this guy's Tom in a Bottle says if the artificial womb is introduced, they will deny men any use of it. Watch and see. Man, we are in for some craziness in the future. I don't know what the heck it holds. I'm a guy here that I'm an optimist here. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff. I don't know if you've looked into Jassara Nassara, a global reset, any stuff like that. I'm a believer in it. I'm not going to pin you at anything on that. I think things are going to look a lot better. I'm not sure what that will mean for all of us, but who knows? Is there... Okay, actually, here we got one here from MGTOW Lucid Dream. He says, "Casual Bachelor, do American men have a chance with Trump?"
What do you think he means by that? Like a chance with Trump?
I'll look in the chat. I think what he means is like we have a guy named Trump in office right now that's still a masculine man. He's not a little pussy boy. So do you think that there's still a chance for America because we have Trump, at the helm versus if you got, Betamon, Justin Trudeau or something at the helm where you're just going to be screwed, basically. Do you think that Trump brings some hope for American men?
Well, yeah, he does bring some hope, but I guess the kind of black pill is that he's not going to be that guy. He's not going to be that guy, but the optimism is is there someone going to be able to capitalize on what he started, because he's not going to be able to finish this. He might not even be able to start some of this, but you have to kind of roll with this momentum. It seems like slow momentum, but it's better than just going head first into some form of I don't know, communism, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, hey, some people are thinking if he starts it, you could see a long dynasty of Trumps with his sons, his daughters, his youngest son. So theoretically, we could have Trumps till 3036 or 2036 or something like that. Wait.
Well, maybe one of his sons. Maybe one of his sons is a little bit based. I don't know about Ivanka, but yeah, that's just me.
That's a very fair point. We need to get nothing's gonna be settled back for society until there's some justice for men in these court systems, or else there's only more and more people. I mean, like you're blowing up, man. This is awesome. Like only more and more people, only more and more men are gonna wake up. So that's got to change. So I think you might be right there with the Ivanka thing, but who knows? Yeah. Yeah, exciting times to be alive. Socialism is the beginning of communism we have here on... Okay, so Carl says, curious whether Casual Bachelor has seen the rise of female politicians and the decline of social rule. Have you noticed that?
Of course. Of course. And it goes further than that too. I mean, you start to see less male principals. I mean, that used to always be a staple. Regardless of how many female teachers there were, there used to always be a male principal a lot of the times. But now that's not the same at all. It's probably flipped. It's probably almost reversed.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting point. I spent, I don't know if you knew, I used to be a second grade school teacher. So I was in public education, and it's mostly females, especially in the elementary school thing. But men and women just have such a difference in how you handle, well, I guess you could say naturally men and women have a natural difference. Now, if you have a bunch of...
I think they resolve problems differently. That's the difference.
Absolutely. I think you need both to be balanced. I mean, for instance, you could have a kid that scrapes their knee or something. If the initial reaction for a female teacher is, oh, are you okay? Oh, well, well, given this attention. Then you see some of these kids, they don't get attention. Then they blow it up, start crying louder. They need more attention versus what I've seemed to see. Just a small example. A lot of men might handle that and are like, hey, oh, it's all right. You're a tough kid. You're no problem. You're okay. That'll make you stronger type idea. Little things like that can change where we have, a socialized group of young people growing up to be victims and to always, cry and get pampered versus people that actually grow up and take responsibility for themselves. So yeah, there's a huge thing with that. But all right, so we got like 5 last minutes here. Is there anything, I'm still looking at the chat here, but is there anything you want to leave us with? Remember, guys, Casual Bachelor channel, check him out. Is there anything to leave us with here? Any final thoughts you have here on MGTOW, what it means to be a bachelor, just advice for men? Anything you want to get off your chest you haven't said yet?
Nah, not really. I guess if anything, you just have to try and get past the rage phase as quick as possible. Not to downplay it, because you do have to kind of experience that range of emotion, but sometimes, and this is for me, because I struggle with this, sometimes, you don't want to linger unnecessarily in a phase. So yeah, that's about all I would say, maybe to add to what we've already talked about.
Well, that's important to not stay in that red pill rage stage, and that actually can be, it's kind of a difficult message. I don't know if you'd agree with that.
Well, I say it like to not stay there unnecessarily. So you have to be there and experience it, but you don't have to stay there longer, just because you just want to sort of, I don't know. But it's hard. It is really hard, because each one's going to have different experiences as well. And they might have to get over that on top of it.
True, and we've all been in, to someone like myself or you, we haven't been through the divorce and what can come along with that, or having our children taken from us. So a guy like me, I was able to get over what you'd call the red pill rage far easier than I could imagine somebody that their entire life basically just got destroyed. And I think it's important for guys to know, especially watching, us, that as a content creator, it's good to reaffirm female nature so guys don't get stuck. You kind of need to see these daily reminders so you don't get stuck. But some guys might see our channels and go, well, these guys are stuck in the same stage. They're stuck in the red pill rage or whatnot because of what we're presenting. But you probably know this as well as I do. There's certain content that people click on and they like. There's other content that people don't. And so, the drama is what people like, but it doesn't mean you have to stay there. And again, me personally, that's what I liked about your channel, was that you were able to break this stuff down without being emotionally attached.
Yeah. Well, I also wanted to do something, I guess, a little bit different, because I guess you can't even do it anymore. But, there was plenty of people doing just straight up roasts and stuff, right? And it was, I could, throw my head into the roast party, but I just decided to try something different. And because I feel like I don't want to use straight up ad hominems. Like, I want to just try to attack their argument. I mean, I can't help the comments. I mean, people are going to say whatever in the comments, but I try not to say certain things about their appearance, because I'm trying to just attack their argument. Even though I could, like I said, I could just, have like a heated gamer moment or something, but I guess enough people do that or have done that in the past, maybe.
Yeah, that's a fair point for sure. Yeah, I get this too. I'll get some people that they'll loop me in with, hate for women. I'm like, what did I say there that you really thought was hateful? They'll loop me in. They'll go, well, look at the comments on your video. It's like, but you got to understand, one, it's nice to vent. A lot of these guys that will leave some of these comments that can be rather intense, it's a place to finally vent. And if you saw
I've got that old school upbringing of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So I think people should think like that, in the sense of, well, would you rather some bad words be sent, or would you rather get the shit kicked out of you sort of thing. But I don't know. People want to have it all. They want to, just stay in this sort of this little bubble, I guess.
Oh yeah, we could have just gone down a whole nother rabbit hole about the whole sticks versus stones and how words are affecting everyone. And you better call me by my pronouns, he, him, her, whatever craziness.
See, we don't really have that here. We don't. I've never encountered that here in New Zealand. To someone say, "Hey, you call me that." I've never had that happen, but I don't know if that's a thing in certain parts of America where people sort of really force the issue on the whole pronoun stuff.
Oh man, well again, I'm in a Washington, so it is more polarized. But I've had friends of mine are business owners that they were going to give speeches at colleges or schools, and they're like, yeah, they had this whole list of you cannot say, you have to use these pronouns, you have to do that, or you're not allowed to speak on And for me, I just wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't speak on that. To tiptoe around that craziness. But what's odd is that these days, it's like me. If I sit here in America and I go, I don't believe in 98 genders, I think that's stupid. Yeah. That is like, I'm like a rebel. People consider me a rebel for saying that here. Because you can offend so many people. It's like, are you kidding me? That's what we're dealing with here in America. But man, it's
interesting though, because obviously a lot of academia is left-leaning. And even left-leaning biologists are finding out that if you're good at your job, you're going to draw some heat. And they even vote in the same direction. But because they're just doing their job as a biologist and they're doing it without political bias, it can become a problem.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. It's just such a gunky system right now. Man. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But all right, man, I don't want to keep you on too long here. I appreciate you joining up here, especially from the future. That's pretty cool to see.
Coming in from the future.
Coming in from the future. So one more time, guys, follow at CasualBachelor channel here on YouTube. Do you want to really quickly shout out your BitChute in your Facebook or any of those other ones here?
Nah, just CasualBachelor, no space, just CasualBachelor, one word. That's the easiest way to find it.
Nice. And by the way, just to let you know yourself, I searched for you twice the last few days as we were kind of going back and forth about this, and it was really hard. I just kept seeing better Bachelor videos, but this morning when I did it, I don't know if you had a threshold or not. Now you're like right up there on like the fourth one for CasualBachelor, so it should be easier to find.
Well, it's just if you put a space in it, it'll do it. So that's why it's got to be CasualBachelor, one word.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Well, then here, this is before we end here. I'm saving this at the bottom here. You guys see that? Boom. It's all updated there. CasualBachelor, one word. CasualBachelor channel. Yeah. Give him a shout out, a subscribe. He's got some fun stuff. You guys just got to better look at his personality. Laid back, able to deliver truth bombs. And warn our fellow men because it's getting wild out here, guys. You know me, I think things will be better, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be a wild ride here for the next few years anyway. So thank you again for coming on, and good luck to you in the future here. I hope your channel keeps growing and you don't get into the YouTube gulags.
Into the naughty box, yeah. We'll see. We'll
the
see
naughty box. Yeah, if I find out any type of tips that come up that I found on YouTube that will keep you from getting banned or whatnot, I'll try to let you know. But I have no idea. I don't know the secret, and I have too hard of a time shutting my mouth. So, I'm probably gonna be in the gulags for a while. But I hope as many other guys can get out as possible.
Yeah.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, sweet. I'll see you later.
All right, see you guys. See ya, and thank you guys for being on here. We'll be back next week. I have a fantasy football draft next Wednesday, but I will be back next either Tuesday, probably Tuesday actually. Maybe do Tuesday instead of Wednesday. But all right, take care, guys. See ya.